here at our gabled home, where I like to share tips for a simple, beautiful, healthy, and sustainable living. I've got my dog Milling down here, so if you hear a little clinging and shaking of the collar, that's my dog. In this video, I'd like to show you how you can make your own mulling spices. You might have heard of mulled wine or mulled cider, and I'm going to show you how you can make your mulling spices for these hot drinks. So growing up in Germany, Northern Europe, where it's often cold and dark in the winter season, people tend to come together inside and get all cozy. And having warming spices wafted through the house is just so cozy and so comfortable. This is how you can make your own spices, mulling spices for your mulled hot drinks. Typically, mulled wine or mulled cider are enjoyed hot or warm, and these mulling spices add just a little bit of pungent spice and interest to them. They also tend to warm you from the inside out, and the mulled cider is basically just apple juice with mulling spices, so that's a kid-friendly version. And if you would like to make an adult version of a mulled drink, you can make mulled wine. You just simply take some red wine and use the same mulling spices. You can also use the mulled cider, the apple cider with the spices, and have a kid-friendly version. And then if you're an adult and you'd like to spike it, you can just add a splash of rum to it and make that an adult version. Now here's what spices go into it. The majority of spices in the mulling spice mix is cinnamon, and you just either use crushed cinnamon powder, doesn't work so well, and you can also use whole. You just have to simmer your drink a little bit longer. So you take about a good tablespoon of crushed cinnamon bark, a few star anise seeds to it, and then you take about a scant teaspoon of cloves, and I would also crush them, not grind them. And then I add about 2 teaspoons of cardamom pods and also crush them, but you can also leave them whole. And lastly, we'll add about a good tablespoon of dried orange peel. Now, don't get too hung up on the exact ratios of this recipe. There's no exact measurements. Sometimes I just like to eyeball things. The main thing here is that you want to go a little lighter on the cloves because they tend to be very pungent if you overdo it on those. And you want, as I said before, you want the cinnamon to be your main ingredient. And then you can just play with the ratios and see what you like. And if you don't have an ingredient, don't worry about it, just use what you have. Sometimes people like to add piment to it or allspice. You can add all sorts of spices to it as you like. Then you fill them in a nice, cute jar like this, and take about a quart of your juice, your apple juice or your wine, and add about a heaping teaspoon of mulling spices. Now you just gently heat that up over a stove, and I don't like to boil my mulled drinks. I just like to have them on a low simmer. What's really nice is if you have it on a low simmer and it's just kind of simmering away, you can use that to create this beautiful scent in your home, and people come in and it's like instant Christmas and holiday and coziness. You can let that sit there for 10 minutes, for half an hour, for an hour, and just let it steep longer, or you can just drink it right away if you can't wait that long. And that's all that is, mulling spices. And here's my hot mulled cider. As you can see, it's still steaming hot, and it is so good. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here to my channel, please subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. I upload new content every week, You can also check out my blog, ourgabledhome.com, where I have more tips and recipes. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you here next time.